Speakers National Youth Debating Competition. Honorable Mansour Nadir, Speaker of the National Assembly, recognizes the need to welcome to the inaugural Speakers National Youth Debating Competition. Honorable Mansour Nadir, Speaker of the National Assembly, recognizes the need to promote a broader awareness of institutions of democracy, particularly the Parliament, among our young people. Out of this recognition, birthed the National Youth Debating Competition. This competition serves as a feeder into the 6th Annual Youth Parliament 2021. Rather than having participants in Youth Parliament being students of the University of Guyana only, this competition will allow for broader participation among young people in civil society. The competition involves 48 participants from 16 youth groups across the education districts of Guyana. These groups were nominated by the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. The competition, moderated by the Honorable Speaker, will see 15 sessions of debates. 4 sessions will be held each week, on Tuesdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. The debates will be adjudicated by a total of 9 capable and erudite judges who were organized in pools of 3 and who will be rotated over the duration of the competition. Each competition must have rules. The rules of this National Youth Debating Competition are: participants must be present 10 minutes before the commencement of the debate. 15 minutes lateness would result in disqualification and an automatic win for the other team. Each team must consist of only 3 members, all from the same youth group. Failure to comply will result in the disqualification of the team. Once a team has started the competition, no member should be replaced. The first speaker will be the first speaker of the proposing team, followed by the first speaker of the opposing team, and it will alternate in this order. The times allotted to each speaker are as follows. First speaker, 4 minutes. Second and third speakers, 3 minutes. And the rebuttal will be 5 minutes. The rebuttal must be done by only the first speaker on each team. No new arguments or materials should be introduced into the rebuttal. 10 points will be deducted for introduction of new arguments. A bell will be rung first to indicate that the speaker should commence. The second bell will indicate that 1 minute is remaining, and there would be a final bell when that time has elapsed. 5 points will be deducted from each speaker who does not adhere to the allotted time. In the event of technical difficulties, a speaker may be allotted additional time. This is at the discretion of the judges. Speakers may refer to notes but should not read them. 5 points will be deducted from any speaker who reads a prepared speech. Points will be awarded for reasoning and logic, originality, relevance, mechanics, articulation, development of argument, development of points, attitude to opponent, and cohesion. There must be keen attention paid to subject and verb agreement. And finally, the judges' decisions are final. This competition is not without reward. With regard to prizes, I am pleased to inform you that 24 participants out of the total of 48 winners of the first round of this competition will advance to become members of Youth Parliament 2021. Every participant would receive a certificate of participation, a youth debater's pin, and special tokens. Prizes include trophies, plaques, cash, and electronics, and will be awarded to the best debater in each round, all semi-finalists and finalists. I have the confidence that we could look forward to very meaningful and robust debates over the next few weeks. Honorable Mansour Nadir, Speaker of the National Assembly and moderator, will now take us through the debate. Best of luck, everyone.
Special good morning to all, and a very special good morning to our two teams, the Madhya Youth Group and the opposing group, the Queenstown Youth Group. Debaters, judges, staff, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, not only in Guyana but all around the world, as this feed is coming to you via social media. Today, I welcome you to the first debate in the Speaker's National Youth Debating Competition 2021, an initiative, as you've heard from our chairperson of the committee, Ms. Carletta Charles, a competition which will bring out and showcase the talents of many of our youth. This morning, I want to introduce to you our judges. Dr. Valerie Gurusamy Smith is our Chief Judge. Good morning, Chief Judge. Mrs. Gurusamy Smith is a former English lecturer at the University of Guyana with over 20 years experience in education. We have popular journalist Mr. Neil Marks. He is an editorial consultant at Newsroom, and he too has over 20 years experience in the media. Our third judge this morning is Ms. Monette Garnett Christopher, the Chief Administrative Officer of the Parliament Officer. Ms. Monette is a well-experienced administrator, plus she also holds an MBA, a Master of Business Administration. This morning, again, I introduced the two teams. The proposing team is the Madhya Youth Group. The first speaker is Ms. Devita Ramphal. The second speaker for the group is Mr. Joshua Hines. And the third speaker, Ms. Alicia Harris. The opposing team is the Queenstown Youth Group from Essequibo. The first speaker will be Ms. Tabitha Alves. The second speaker, Ms. Divine Ross. And the third speaker, Ms. Kira Mahadio. Today's moot is psychedelic drug use declines academic performance. I now declare this debate open. I call on the first speaker for the Madhya Youth Group, Ms. Devita Ramphal, to make her presentation. bear with us, Ms. Ramphal. We are just trying to get the sound so that the judges can hear your presentation. The first speaker will have 4 minutes to make her presentation. Thank you very much to our technical staff. Let me start all over again, honorable judges. We have two teams this morning for the first leg of the Speakers National Youth Debating Competition. The first group, the proposing group, is going to be the Madhya Youth Group, and they're led by Ms. Devita Ramphal. The second speaker, Mr. Joshua Hines. The third speaker is Alicia Harris. The opposing team is the Queenstown Youth Group. They're led by Ms. Tabitha Alves. The second speaker is Ms. Divine Ross. The third speaker, Ms. Kiara Mahadio. Today's moot is psychedelic drugs. Psychedelic drug use declines academic performance. I declare this debate open, and I now call on the first speaker, Ms. Devita Ramphal from the Madhya Youth Group, to make her presentation. Ms. Ramphal? Ms. Ramphal, can you hold your stage with the audio coming into the chambers?
Psychedelic drugs affects all senses, altering a person's thinking, sense of time and emotion. End of quote.
Ms. Ramphal?
My opponents, you believe, like many people, that psychedelic drugs will not affect one's academic performance. Firstly, the use of psychedelic drugs limits one's sense and alters a person's thinking.
Ms. Ramphal, the feedback is terrible. Ms. Ramphal, we will have to have you start all over again. The opposing team is the Queenstown Youth Group from Queenstown, Essequibo. The first speaker there is Ms. Tabitha Alves. The second speaker, Ms. Divine Ross. And the third speaker, Ms. Kiara Mahadio. Our esteemed judges today, former English lecturer at the University of Guyana with over 20 years experience in education. We have Mr. Neil Marks, editorial consultant at Newsroom and a media practitioner for the past 20 years. And the third judge is Ms. Monet Garnett Christopher, the Chief Administrative Officer of Parliament Office. Ms. Garnett is well experienced in administrative matters and holds an MBA. Today's moot is psychedelic drug use declines academic performance. And I now call on the first speaker from the Madhya Youth Group, Ms. Devita Ramphal, to make her presentation.
Pleasant good morning. Judges, members of the opposing team, audience. Members of the opposing team, as the proposing team of this debate, we are here to convince you that psychedelic drug use declines academic performance. The key word in this mood is psychedelic. According to Google website, Oxford Languages, and I quote, psychedelic drugs affect all the senses, altering a person's thinking, sense of time, and emotion. End of quote. My opponents, you believe, like many people, that psychedelic drugs will not affect one's academic performance? Firstly, the use of psychedelic drugs limits one's sense and alters a person's thinking and emotion. For example, alcohol, cocaine, tobacco, and cannabis, which is widely used in our country, Guyana. All of these drugs are harmful to users, which can cause health damages, mental impairment, and dependence. It also causes mortality, loss of tangibles, and relationships. It's also harmful to the community and the environmental costs. Therefore, how can the user of psychedelic drug increase his academic performance? It is clear, my opponents. It is clear, judges. Psychedelic drugs destroys the human mind and ability to think. That is why psychedelic drug use declines academics. Secondly, the effects on psychedelic drugs can lead to the following experiences, such as number one, feeling of euphoria, number two, blurred vision, number three, confusion and trouble concentrating. My opponents, tell me, how can a person who has trouble concentrating, or how can a person who has confusion can sit in a classroom and respond to any learning activities? It is impossible. There is no way a person who have been constantly consuming alcohol respond or be respective to learning. Judges, there is no way youths can consume these drugs and be respective to learning. It is impossible. Number four, clumsiness. Number five, fast or irregular heartbeat. And number six, numbness, followed by many others. Members of the opposing team, tell me, with all of these evidence, how persons who have been consuming psychedelic drugs be respective to learn it. For example, Bob Marley. Bob Marley was not being respected to learn, and that's why where he is today, where he currently is. There is no way, judges or my opponents. These psychedelic drugs can also cause vision and numbness. Therefore, psychedelic drug use will decline academic performance.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ramphal. I now call on Ms. Tabitha Alves from the Queenstown Youth Group to make her presentation. Ms. Alves?
Yeah.
Esteemed judges, intelligent friends of the proposition, audience all, a pleasant morning to you. I, Tabitha Alves, deems it a privilege to stand humbly before you as the first speaker of the opposition, strongly opposing the move which states, and I quote, psychedelic drug use declines academic performance, end of quote. As the first speaker, I'll be defining the key terms in this move and outlining our main argument. Our second speaker will explain the supporting reasons for our argument, and our third speaker will summarize our argument. The key terms in this mood are psychedelics and drugs. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, psychedelics, also known as hallucinogens, are a class of psychoactive substances that produces changes in perception, mood, and cognitive processes. Psychedelics affect all the senses, altering a person's thinking, sense of time, and emotions. Drugs, defined by the Oxford Dictionary, is a medicine or substance which has psychological effects when ingested or otherwise introduced into the body. A few examples of these drugs are LSD, marijuana, ketamine, and PCP. The biggest misconception people have about psychedelic drugs is that these drugs make you crazy. However, I wish to strongly argue that these drugs are not as bad as we perceive, and more importantly, I'd like to stress the fact that these drugs can indeed aid in academic performance. In 2011, a study was conducted by some scientists at the Imperial College of London, and what they found is that the same psychedelic drugs actually have tremendous benefits. The research proved that these drugs can help persons suffering with cancer, addiction, alcoholism, and more so mental disorders. You may be wondering, but how does this relate to academic performance? Attentive audience, I'm confident by now we all are okay with the term mental disorder and the detrimental effects that it has had on both young and older people. Today, students suffer a lot with anxiety and depression. Therefore, students who use psychedelic drugs in the correct proportion are eased from the stress of studying, since these drugs act like antidepressants, thereby fueling the brain. In addition to the ease that comes with the fatigue of workloads, students are more competent when it comes to managing of complex tasks. With the use of these drugs, it is not difficult for a child to maintain focus and study because these drugs help relieve mental discomfort. Kind friends of the proposition, in our country, if we are to be honest, there are a lot of mentally disturbed persons roaming and living on the streets. Most of the time when we investigate the cause of these persons, they were either really educated, had great careers, but due to the amount of stress that came with studying led them to this disorder or them using these drugs excessively. Beyond studies, a group of people who are currently using LSD in the United States have indicated to their doctors that they've seen improvement in their focus, concentration, and memory. Honorable judges, which student would be encouraged to try harder after seeing improved grades? We all can attest that it is truly a burden when we are extremely stressed. It is difficult for adults to just imagine it for our students. Think of it. Less stress plus more time to focus on studies equals better grades and happier parents. My fellow colleagues of the proposition, proposition? Isn't this what we want for our students? Or do you prefer them to be lagging behind, spending countless hours being stressed and fatigued? When these drugs can help once used moderately. No, I said moderately. In closing, with the boost from these drugs, students are not yet headed in the direction of failure, however, that of a brighter future. They are determined and focused. I depart with this quote by Mr. Albion. Work smarter, not harder. I thank you.
Thank you. The second speaker for the proposition is Mr. Joshua Hines from the Mansfield Youth Group. Mr. Hines?
Good morning, honorable judges, members of the Good morning, judges, members of the Good morning, judges, members of the audience. Could you join me in a moment of laughter? Members of the opposition, why do you continue to defend your laughable claim? There is enough evidence to support our move that psychedelic drug use declines academic performance. For example, alcohol, cocaine, and ecstasy. Just to name a few. These drugs are these drugs these drugs these drugs These drugs classify highly dangerous and harmful to the user. According to the UK daily drug chart, the most dangerous they make you hallucinate and make you see things that are not there. Research has shown that these drugs has a negative effect on learning, memory, and attention. After the drug's acute effect has weared off, depending on the person's history with the drug. Therefore, the concern of psychedelic drugs will impact education and academic achievement. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hines. I now call on the second speaker from the Queenstown Youth Group, Ms. Divine Ross. Ms. Ross?
Honorable judges, member of the proposition team, I, Divine Ross, stand here boldly to defend my team. Under the move, psychedelic drug use declines academic performance. Good morning to you all. Above all, the first point I'd like to establish is that the lack of education causes misperception. So please permit me to educate you. According to a study conducted by a group of scientists in May 2011, 18 healthy volunteers were given 4 doses of psilocybin. Majority of the participants reported prolonged positive changes in attitude and mood. There were also changes in personality. Participants were more open-minded, tolerant, and interested in imagination. How do we relate this to academic performance? Esteemed judges, we are all aware that the education system requires a great number of critical skills, such as problem solving, critical thinking. Thus, the benefits mentioned above will definitely aid in composition, comprehension, and math. The public is often versed in the potential harms of psychedelic drugs, but much of this knowledge is derived from cases involving students who use illicit substances in unsupervised non-medical contexts. I stand firm on the fact that moderation is the key. I emphasize moderation is the key. It's all about finding a balance. To accurately explain what I mean, I will use a
a logical example. Sugar is essential in our bodies as it results in exceptional health benefits. On the other hand, consuming excess sugar will lead to a variety of chronic diseases. Does this mean that we should come to the conclusion that sugar is bad for our health or decreases body performance, completely ignoring its tremendous health benefits, and the cause for the negative effects is due to overuse? By this, I am just trying to highlight the importance of moderation in use. Moreover, the use of drugs in the correct proportion will guarantee academic performance. My dear, my dear judges, too much of anything is bad, but that does not mean that the thing itself is bad. Manly Hall once said, and I quote, "Moderation is a secret of survival," end of quote. I remain confident that the use of these drugs in an abusive manner, I stress, in an abusive manner, will produce negative effects, just like any other drug that we may deem to be good. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Ross. And I now call on Miss Alicia Harris from the Malia Youth Group to make her contribution.
Members of the opposing team. Members of the opposing team, I'm here to support my colleagues that psychedelic drug use declines academic performance. You have heard arguments of facts that my team leader and deputy would have mentioned. Still, you defend pointless points. Ladies and gentlemen, we are convinced that psychedelic drug use declines academic performance. Think about a 50-year-old student or someone around my age that consume marijuana and attending school and losing their memory after the use of marijuana. According to Scientific News Daily of 2012, performance when school students smoke marijuana regularly, they are likely not to get good grades. And wanted to drop out. In Madia, I have witnessed 50% of school dropouts and are likely smoking marijuana. It can also affect your health. It is also dangerous for children who are young. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Ms. Harris from the Madia Youth Group. The third speaker from the Queenstown Youth Group is Ms. Kiara Mahadio. Ms. Mahadio, it is your turn to make your presentation.
Impartial judges, members of the proposition, attentive listeners, a pleasant morning to you. I, Kiara Mahadio, stand before you as the third speaker of the opposition to further object the moot which states, and I quote, "Psychedelic drug use declines academic performance." End of quote. Malcolm Forbes once said, and I quote, "Education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with an open one." End of quote. Allow me to examine this from the perspective of a contemporary problem. I am certain that you are fully aware of the COVID-19 pandemic we are facing. When the first batch of COVID-19 vaccines arrived in Guyana, from an article written on May 9, 2021 titled, "Region 10 officials fear that skepticism is driving citizens' COVID-19 hesitancy," it is is transparent that Guyanese were skeptical mainly because they were poorly informed of the benefits of the vaccine, resulting in a low vaccination rate. After the government had embarked on various strategies to better educate the citizens, there was a drastic increase in the vaccination rate of the country. Therefore, prestigious judges, with the right strategies implemented to educate the students of the correct manner and proportions to consume psychedelic drugs, I am confident that these problems stated by the proposition can be reduced. As mentioned by the first speaker, psychedelic drugs aid in the relief of psychological problems. Besides this, psychedelic drugs consumed in modest amounts serve as a relaxation technique and it improves self care, helping you remain focused and sane. Moderate consumption of psychedelic drugs by students creates a balance in their life, easing their mind, thus bringing a sense of tranquility. This in turn creates a healthy environment suitable for effective studying, resulting in excellent academic performance. Most honorable judges, do we not want what is best for our children of tomorrow? You may want to think that the drug may be overused. However, based on Marlene Ruff's article posted May 4, 2017, says, and I quote, repeated intake of psychedelics has been proven by scientists to produce no satisfying effects whatsoever. Therefore, the potential for abuse is limited, and it is widely understood that psychedelics do not lead to physical addiction. In fact, studies have shown that they facilitate coming off of a nicotine or alcoholic addiction. So, most impartial judges, members of the proposition, as we have seen, psychedelic drugs do not decline academic performance. I thank you.
Now going to take a short break of 7 minutes to allow the teams to organize their thoughts and prepare for the rebuttals. Thank you very much. going to do the rebuttal. Madhya Youth Group? The Madhya Youth Group?
Honorable judges, members of the opposing team. The first speaker of the opposing team mentioned a moderate use of psychedelic drugs will not harm anyone. But how are we going to define moderate uses when it has been established that a forced user of psychedelic drug can experience effects such as mood swings, death, and blackout? That is why we are here to emphasize that psychedelic drug use declines academic performance. Like I've mentioned, the effects on these drugs, such as clumsiness, confusion, and trouble concentrating. Honorable judges, tell me a person who have experienced experiencing such effects, can they sit in a classroom and have the ability to think? Can they sit in the classroom and be receptive to learning? No. That is why we are here to convince you psychedelic drug use declines academic performance. Thank you.
I now call on the person rebutting from the Queenstown Youth Group.
Yeah, it's on.
Astute judges, friends of the proposition, audience, I rise again to refute the preposterous claims that were made by the members of the proposition. The prior speaker of the proposition mentioned that psychedelic drugs limit one's sense, altering one's thinking. But, as mentioned by our second speaker, these drugs are not harmful until they are used excessively or they're being abused, which is most time evident. Remember, members of the proposition, moderation is the key. I repeat, moderation is the key. And also, if these drugs are so harmful to our bodies, then why are they used in the medical field? Why are they used to treat mental disorders? Why are they used to treat cancers? Why do they have so much of tremendous benefits? Why are these drugs used? We can emphasize, members of the proposition, moderation and education is key. With the good strategies of education being implemented, proper education to our pupils, proper education to our society is indeed the key to curbing this situation or curbing the points that members of the proposition has claims. And members of the proposition, where are your evidence where are your evidence to support these claims? You provided points, but where are the evidence to back the claims of these drugs being so harmful? Also, you said it's difficult. One of the speakers mentioned that it's difficult for students to maintain memory and concentration. But as I mentioned, with research that was done in the United States of America, students can be lost in the classroom or if they use it moderately. But if they use it moderately, as I indicated, that the doctor said that they see improvement in their focus and concentration and also their memory. These drugs are not harmful until they become abused. As my third speaker mentioned, the purpose of education is to replace an empty mind with an open one. Members of the proposition, as I emphasize again, with the right strategies, these drugs will indeed have benefits for our students, for our population as general, and it will also aid in the improvement of our academic performance. I thank you.
Queenstown Youth Group. And now we will have to leave our judges to do their tallying and present their comments and announce who are the winners for this first debate in the Speaker's National Youth Debating Competition. While we wait on the judges, this competition is going to be on every Tuesday and Friday. We have 16 groups. We've just heard presentations from the first two groups, the Madhya Youth Group and the Queenstown Youth Group. This afternoon at 2 p.m., we're going to have another debate from two other youth groups. On Friday, at the same time, 10 a.m., and at 2 p.m., we're going to have two more debates. And this will continue every Tuesday and Friday until the finals on July the 9th. We do have some exciting prizes up for the winners and the runner-ups. The best debater will receive a laptop. Every one of the finalists will receive a tablet. There is also monetary rewards. There are monetary rewards for all of the finalists. Of course, the winners will get a bit more than the runner-up. All of our teams and debaters will be honored with certificates of participation. We are supposed to be taking some comments from our audience on the live stream, and also comments from our judges. As soon as our judges are ready, I will have some comments from, first, Ms. Monet Garnett Christopher, second, Mr. Neil Marks, and third, the Chief Judge will make remarks and also make the announcement of the winning team and the best debater this morning. There are comments from the live feed. Once again, this is the first debate in the Speaker's National Youth Debating Competition, a competition that is organized to provide a feeder into the Youth Parliament of the National Assembly. And since 2015, the National Assembly has hosted youth parliaments. We are now expanding the process to have debates among youth group, and debaters who have earned the right to move on will get an opportunity to be one of the members of parliament for the youth parliament when we host the youth parliament in August. 16 teams are participating in our competition, and we have just seen the first debate between the Madhya Youth Group and the Queenstown Youth Group. Our judges today are the Chief Judge is Ms. Valerie Gurusamy Smith, a former lecturer at the University of Guyana with over 20 years experience in education. Our second judge is Mr. Neil Marks, editorial consultant at Newsroom and also a learned media practitioner. Our third judge is Ms. Monet Garnett Christopher, the Chief Administrative Officer at Parliament Office. She's a well-experienced administrator who also has an MBA. Our third judge, Ms. Monet Garnett Christopher. Today, debating for the Madhya Youth Group, we had the lead speaker, Ms. Devita Ramphal, the second speaker, Mr. Joshua Hines, the third speaker, Ms. Alicia Harris. The moot was psychedelic drug use declines academic performance. The opposing team is from Queenstown, Essequibo, the Queenstown Youth Group, and that group is led by Ms. Tabitha Alves, supported by Ms. Divine Ross and Ms. Kiara Mahadiu. And we've just had the two teams and their presenters making their presentations and their rebuttals. Our judges are now consulting, and shortly we are going to be ready for the announcement of the winner of this inaugural Speakers National Youth Debating Competition. The National Assembly has decided to host this competition and to make this competition a calendar one in the future. We have decided to host the competition so that we can start the process of encouraging our young people to learn about our democratic institutions, to practice their skills at debating, and more particularly to develop all of their talents so that they can contribute to nation building. It is the view of the National Assembly that our young people have a role to play. They have ideas, and more particularly, they have the energy to pursue their dreams and their ideas. And we need to ensure that we can give them as much opportunity to exercise these talents and to drive themselves to achieve of their best. While we await our judges, again, the very attractive prizes are on offer for the finalists in the Speakers National Youth Debating Competition. The finals will be held on July the 9th. The best debater for the entire competition will receive a laptop. Every one of the finalists in the competition will receive a tablet. There are also monetary prizes for the finalists. All participants will be honored with certificates of participation, and we want to take this opportunity to commend the first two groups who have been selected to launch this competition. The selection process was done live from here using a software that matches the group randomly and assigning the moots randomly. I see our judges are busy tabulating. Our groups have done extremely well. It is not easy to be opening batting, especially in an unfamiliar environment. Our chief judge says our Chief Judge, Ms. Valerie Gursami Smith, says she's ready, and we are ready. So let me now call on Ms. Monet Garnett Christopher to make her remarks.
Honorable Manzur Nadir, colleague judges, participants, viewers, the media, good morning. First of all, I wish to congratulate each participant for a well-informed presentation. I take note particularly of some points which were made. For example, while the points were well developed in some of the presentations, some lack cohesion. For example, I think that the first speaker of one side should say what the other speakers would address in the debate. There were also some run-on sentences, which made it a little challenging for us to clearly understand what the debaters were saying. Nevertheless, I like the passion and the enthusiasm that was brought to the debate today. There were also some supporting evidence by some of the debaters, while others did not adequately support their points. Nevertheless, I think because it's virtual, there weren't much eye contact with the debaters. We weren't able to see you as clearly as we would like to see you. I like the fact also that some of the presenters brought originality to the debate. You were yourselves. Even though I know you were trying to meet the time frame, you were yourselves in this. Also, I think that some of the debaters as well did not make full use of the time that was allotted to them. I'm not certain whether it was the connection, but full use was not made. Also, I think that in terms of your articulation, I think that there were a lot of movements in some of the presentations. Your hands were moving, and so it takes a little from what you were trying to present to us. Try your best to be calm. I know sometimes you may be nervous, but try your best to be calm. However, in all, I think the debate was well done, and I want to again congratulate all of you for very good presentations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Monet Garnett Christopher, the Chief Administrative Officer of the Parliament Office. Our next judge is Mr. Neil Marks. Mr. Marks, could we have your comments, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for inviting me and participating in the debate. I wanted to say that the first debate was a little bit underwhelming. I didn't feel that it was a real debate. I wanted more. That being said, I think there was a very, very clear winner this morning. I found that one team in particular lacked a great deal of preparation. Just the preparation of the arguments and the preparation in how to present the arguments, that's greatly lacking. And I think that will show in the results that the Chief Judge will announce a little bit later today. But I just wanted to congratulate both teams for taking part in the debate. It's never an easy thing. The nerves get the better of you. Sometimes you have down in your head everything that you want to say, but it just doesn't come out, even if you have it down on paper. But congratulations again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Judge Neil Marks, our media practitioner, editorial consultant at Newsroom, and for our Chief Judge, Dr. Valerie Gursami Smith. She will make her comments and announce the winners of this first debate. Dr. Gursami Smith.
All protocols observed. Good afternoon once again. It's quite a privilege to be here to take part at this level in a debating competition. I must say I came with my bars really high because I hear it's Parliament. So, and being a very experienced debater, I had to really prep myself not to go really hard on our young debaters. I am really impressed with their age. I am impressed with their willingness to participate. I must congratulate youth groups across Guyana. Sometimes we're not aware that they exist, but I thank the Speaker of the House for bringing out such an exercise. The topic is a very, very excellent topic. And the topic has depths, and the topic has argument, and the topic has sides, and both sides could have jumped really hard and pressed in on the topic. So I sense lack of in-depth preparation. However, both teams understood the topic to a certain extent, and based on their understanding, they have delivered. What was lacking tremendously when you're debating such a topic, it is important that you use statistics. If you say moderation, give some quantities, give some names of medical scientists, give some names of medical science that has gone through studies and would have experimented with students, not only in the United States of America. You see, the topic did not give specificity. The topic was so general that the leaders of the debate, or those prepping the students, could have said, well, we're going to take it in a Guyanese context, or we're going to take it in a regional context, which would have given the debate a really, really good push. They leave it very general, so it was dealing with lots of generalizations, hasty generalization, drawing conclusion rashly, and as a result, it was like having a pep talk. As the first debate for the series, I hope those who are listening are taking notes of in-depth research, thorough examination of your points. The other thing, when you have a leader of a debate, that leader always give the viewers or the listeners an idea what a second speaker is going to deal with and what a third speaker is going to deal with. That was not provided. So there was evidence of repetition. There was evidence of all the speakers almost saying the same thing. So if one said, let's deal with the social aspect, let's deal with the political aspect, let's deal with the scientific aspect, it would have given a lot of direction. Nevertheless, based on what was presented, we were able to draw a conclusion. I was really moved that all the judges, we actually had same score. We had the same conclusion about the winner. We had the same conclusion about the best speaker and the same conclusion about the better rebuttal. So with those comments, I decided to give those comments because I believe for those who are coming up, it's a good thing to take note of these points so that you can prepare better, do much more justice to the topic. I mean, when I did a research on the topic, I went in, I debated it both sides on my way here. And I came with an expectation because I believe one of the things that came to my mind, then if it's so good and it could be used in moderation, then we can house our schools, have a little first aid kit and said, oh, you're having depression or trouble, come and take a dose of the drug. And that would have been a very strong point for the proposition. To say, are schools equipped with this drug since it's so good, since it boosts academic performance? I think that's a very major point that they could have handled. And since it's absent from classroom, then truly it probably is believed, but it's not yet proven to be an academic source of upliftment. So with that said, I will say that the scores came down to 179 and 233. And the team that it's, so you see there's a little, a strong gap there, but we could not help. It's all three judges' conclusion, and proposition came out with 179, and the opposition is the winner with 233 points. Well, I believe we have a rule of not applauding. I don't know if COVID is stopping us from applauding, but I really would like to applaud. And we give the better rebuttal to the opposition. Give them a round of applause. And the opposition also came out with the best speaker, and that was unanimous as well. Ms. Divine Ross is the best speaker. So I go that over again. The winner is the opposition. The opposition got the best speaker, Ms. Divine Ross, and the better rebuttal has gone to the opposition. So what to start with Queenstown Youth Group. Amen. Very good. I believe it's a good start. Take the comments and let's have the next debate taking us to another level. Thank you so much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gurusamy Smith. Thank you very much, judges. And I too want to offer my congratulations to both groups, the Madhya Youth Group and the Queenstown Youth Group. As I've said earlier, this competition will be a calendar activity on the speaker's agenda, and it will give youth groups an opportunity to do more work, get more involved, and come better the next time. Congratulations to all of our debaters and both groups, and congratulations also to the winners, the Queenstown Youth Group and Ms. Divine Ross as best debater for this competition. My thanks to the judges and also to the staff. This competition is primarily being organized by the staff of the Parliament, and they're putting their skills as usual to the test, and they've started off on an excellent footing. Thank you very much, staff of the National Assembly. And to all of you, join us again at 2 p.m. this afternoon for the second debate in the Speaker's National Youth Debating Competition. Thank you very, very, very much. Have a good day.